Hey there, it's Carolyn with a Curious Views mini lesson. Today I want to focus on practicing deconstructing the form into cylinders and boxes, morphing the two together, and then how that artificial exercise eventually will translate into better figure drawings. So let's take a look. All right, the first thing I want to show you is how I use the exercise of deconstructing the human body into simple forms and how that factors into or trickles down into my more organic drawings later on. So here you see me laying the gesture, and now I'm addressing the three major masses as eggs and ovals. And once I have that, I take those a little bit further, thinking about landmarks and how the pelvis is more like a bowl rather than an oval. And once I have my three major masses, I address the limbs. So here I'm dealing with the legs as cylinders, clarifying the perspective if the limb is aiming at me, away from me, above my eye level, or below my eye level. If you need help with any of that, check out my previous videos on practicing drawing from imagination, where I go in detail over cylinders and boxes. So speaking of boxes, it's a really useful exercise to look at your model's head and deconstruct it into a box. So the main plane change you're looking for is that temporal ridge. In case you're wondering where that is, that's on a person where their eyebrow is arcing up to a peak, and that's where the front edge of the box would be. Other than the head, it's also useful to deconstruct the pelvis into a box because you get a clear view of which sides you're seeing and where that edge is, the transition between front and side of the pelvis. Now, once you have your legs into cylinders, you want to look for areas where there's a boxy quality to them. Areas that come to mind are the tops of the knee, or if you have a back view where the hamstring tendons attach to the back of the knee, the ankle, where the ankle clips onto the foot. Those are all boxy areas. So let's look at a different drawing. So here I have the beginning of my gesture, and it's already like a very organic drawing, but in my head, as I'm drawing this, I'm doing this mental deconstruction, clarifying where my major plane changes are, where the front becomes the side, where the top becomes the front or the side. So what's going on the right-hand side of my drawing pad is actually happening in my head, and it starts to trickle down into this more organically drawn version of this figure drawing. And so my pitch to you is that you go through these kind of laborious exercises of drawing boxes, which are not very satisfying, because once you've done it enough, you become sensitive to seeing those important plane changes, putting them into your more organic drawing, and what happens as an end result is that your organic drawing starts to look very structured and well organized, meaning the volume is believable and the details don't upstage the big forms. So I highly recommend you do this exercise of artificially deconstructing the figure into cylinders and boxes so you can have a more convincing end result. And if you need a little bit of extra help or motivation to do this exercise for yourself, join me for my next Facebook live stream happening at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time at facebook.com/Kira Studios, and I'd love to get to draw with you. See you there. Bye.